I'm just happy to be out here in the fields and have some space and leave my cell phone and not be accountable.
Yeah. The smell of fresh air, mud under our feet. Almost 40 miles away from Madison is where Raleigh's Hillside farm calls home. And it's where Lauren and I got our hands dirty harvesting peak summer vegetables.
I did used to work on a farm.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It was an organic farm in Australia. So yeah, rotational grazing. It was an old cane farm.
Oh.
And so then the animals were working the soil. It was my first time that I got to grow produce that I cook.
Yeah, it's there's something very gratifying about growing your own food and for other people as well. There's something about it.
Kyle and his wife Lauren run the farm, which is in its 7th year. Mainly, they operate as a CSA, also known as Community Supported Agriculture. It's a way to connect with and directly support your local farmers. Basically, you pay the farmer ahead of the season and get a share of the crop during the harvest.
It's hard work, but it's gratifying, and you've got a purpose and you're providing.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
Yep, and I really like working with the earth and the land.
Yeah. David, how many rubber bands
This
do we
is
have?
it. This is you. No more.
What?
No less.
Oh, that one's for you.
You want some breakfast? It's good.
It's hearty.
It's delicious.
Okay, that's it.
All in a day's work.
That's right, we're done.
Yes.
I can do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Turns out we were not done with kale. We had 60 pounds to go. We're also going for a pound on these.
Yes.
Okay.
It felt like a pound.
Maybe 1 or 2 more leaves. Yep, just to be safe. It's a little.
Damn it, Lauren.
A little
know.
deceiving.
I do not like to unban something that's been banded.
You can't work under these conditions.
All right. My feet are muddy. Actually, I'm forgetting about how stressful my actual real life is.
This is one of the more enjoyable harvests.
We have a few hours to forget about our lives, David. Take it.
So is this just like one plot that you operate off of?
Yeah.
And then you have several like this?
No, this is it.
Oh, got it. So you rent 8 acres.
We rent 8 acres. Yep. So it's.
What are you doing with the rest of it?
That's what this whole chunk is 8 acres.
Oh, that what we're standing on is 8
We're
acres.
standing on it. So what's in production is about 4.5.
One of the many benefits of small-scale community-focused farms is how they use the land. Crop rotation and pre-planting are key to making sure that each CSA box has enough of an in-season veggie variety.
These are all watermelon radish here. We'll probably what we call clear cut, so we're not skipping anything. And maybe I'll just pull and you guys will top. So I'll just kind of start some piles, maybe one on each side. Each you can have a crate. All you're gonna do is you are gonna get a bit dirty on this one, but you just wanna wipe that excess dirt off.
Okay.
We're not trying to get them spotless, but we just want that to stay in the field as best as possible, and it helps for washing. And then you're just giving it a quick twist.
Got it.
So it's kind of fun. These mass harvests, you can go kind of quick, just go on your own speed, but yeah, you can kind of create a pile of greens here. Someone can set up here, but I'll, if you want, you can help me pull, but that's, up to you.
Do you do anything in the off months, Kyle, to fertilize or nourish the soil?
We have a bunch of cover crops already in. It's a mix of buckwheat, 3 different clovers, and then an alfalfa.
Nice.
Cover crops are huge in building that organic matter, and getting some of that free nitrogen from the legumes.
You need an apron for your legs. Some chaps, maybe.
You need to wear some chaps. Maybe you only wear chaps. I think you.
I don't know if that would be good for farming. Even though I was like squatting and sitting.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right.
All right.
So here we are.
Yeah.
All in a day's work. But our day's work isn't over yet, because harvesting is only half the challenge.
We're packing 200 boxes today, so you really have to kind of have a system and you have to follow it the whole way through. We do one item at a time, and we kind of alternate, like this row, this row, this row, this row, and we work the whole way down.
Okay.
And then you really watch the box behind to make sure that you didn't miss any too.
So should I go ahead and do 2 of these for this guy?
That's perfect.
This is good just by itself?
Yep.
Okay.
This would be One.
That'd
Those
be
are
one,
good,
but they gotta
we
be
wanna-
matching,
They
right?
gotta
They
be
gotta-
matching. Yup, exactly.
No mismatched squash?
Nope.
Why not?
Well, how are you going to do your butternut squash recipe?
Exactly.
If you-
Exactly.
That's okay. All right.
Yeah, you have to think about how people cook through the box with CSA. That is really important.
Are these twofers? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, those are great. Now,
Green beans, right?
Actually, I'll have you do these tomatoes.
Okay.
Right behind you there.
Heard.
And then you can stay on the same side. You don't have to crisscross too much. They can go right on top of the bottom of the leeks, and the green beans kind of tucked in right there. Yep, that is perfect. Everyone is getting one green and one colored, doesn't matter the color. So 2 total peppers, 1 of each.
What if it's got a soggy tip?
Yeah, we do sort for, we call them seconds as we go. So
Yeah.
that's great. So we'll put that over on that table. So only 140 more.
These are going to go on the pallets? Oh, on top?
Either way.
Go up? Okay. There we go.
You can like get your squats in. There you are.
Now we do the same thing all over again. So same roll every time, so then it's easy to remember what comes next. Looks gorgeous, all the colors. This is definitely our most colorful week.
Are we slowing you down or speeding you up?
You're speeding us up for sure.
Is this typical for the amount of help that you'd have?
No, it's usually 2 people, because 4 is actually a little tricky.
Sure.
Because we have to dance around each other, but I think we have a really good flow going.
We do good things.
And I mean, it takes a while. It usually will take 3 to 4 hours on Wednesday mornings.
Okay.
And then our first curry will get here in about half an hour. So yeah, we're way ahead of schedule. You guys are definitely speeding us up.
All right, I think I'm getting to that time where we might have to split these up.
But wait,
There's more? Okay,
There's
but
more.
should I hang on to the bigger one?
let's put those in here and then just put this one on top. And then if we have to get down to those, we will. Okay. Perfect.
Being around all of this produce gives me so many opportunities for bad puns. So when do you feel the need to try for new crops?
So we didn't have much growing experience, so we started with like a pretty limited crop mix where we wanted to grow all of the things that we knew our customers wanted, and then we just kind of started scaling up from there. So every year we've really added a crop or two, usually just something that we knew was challenging, and we were like, okay, I think we're ready to take on tomatillos. Okay, I think we're ready to take on sweet potatoes. It's year 7, so we've reached kind of a great crop mix that we really love. So we're not really adding more crops anymore as much as we're just trying different varieties to see like what performs the best and what has the best flavor and again what are members excited about. So we really alter our crop list almost completely based on what our CSA members are looking for. It's pretty fun. Yeah, we're pretty passionate / obsessed with the CSA model. It's also pretty low risk for farmers. People commit prior to the season and then they inherently have some of that shared risk, shared bounty concept, so it really, really helps protect the farmer, which we really love.
Yeah. I'm curious why you decided to become a vegan.
So I first became vegetarian when I was 18. When I went and did my yoga teacher training in Thailand, the ashram that I stayed at was all vegan. And so whether I liked it or not, I was vegan for 30 days. And after that, I felt amazing. And I realized how much dairy had an impact on how I felt.
Awesome.
So I eat vegan, I bike, try to not have my carbon emissions going into the air.
Well, we should all strive to be as great as you are.
I'm glad you feel that way, David. We could sustain ourselves. We're in the veggie aisle. We could live
are.
on this stuff for years.
You could show me how to do it.
I should.
Depending on tonight's meal, Lauren may just make a convert out of me yet.
So I put a lot of lemon juice and a lot of garlic in my dishes.
Okay.
I think it gives it a nice acidity and also umami depth of flavor.
For sure.
So some people use bacon fat. I use roasted garlic.
Oh, beautiful.
So don't
Yeah,
sneak
yeah.
any bacon fat in here.
I won't.
Okay.
I promise.
Do you want to peel some garlic?
Sure. Lauren's dish is full of flavors and textures. It's sweet, spicy, and the squash melts in your mouth. Hitting every metric, this medley of vegetables and flavors is the perfect use of the variety found in a CSA share.
I love all the roasting. We say that that's the secret for a CSA share. Like a gateway to liking vegetables that you don't know how to work with or that you didn't like before is you just roast them.
Yes.
And it caramelizes them and they're just so delicious. Like Brussels sprouts get such a bad rap. It's because a lot of people are familiar with eating them steamed. You roast them and it's one of the most delicious things you've ever tasted.
Exactly.
Eggplant, et cetera, et cetera. So many vegetables.
What does FairShare do?
We're a coalition of 44 farms spread throughout Wisconsin. We've got a farm in Minnesota, and we support these growers that are all CSA growers. The CSA model is changing a lot right now. Consumer trends tend to be that folks are really interested in customization. They want to be able to choose what's in their share and convenience, and so farmers are responding, and they're offering a lot of different types of shares. You don't have to think about the seasons as that the seasons come to you in terms of of what you're eating, and it's really delightful because if you've ever had a tomato from, say, like a box store.
Terrible.
They're terrible. It's like you're eating almost like cardboard or something with no flavor and no texture almost. But if you are eating from a CSA share, if you're eating at a farmer's market, you start to just look forward to the tomato season because, like, really you don't eat tomatoes the entire winter.
Right.
It's
they're
July,
bad.
August until you have your first tomato, and you are so ready for that tomato. And our household, we get super excited about it. We have, our 8 things that we do with our tomatoes that we just can't wait to dig into. We make salsa, really simple stuff, but there's just nothing like that simple meal when it has the freshest vegetables.
The way you're taking the best produce and you're taking what the farmer gives you, and the farmer's choosing what to grow based on a variety of factors, it's an incentive for farmers to grow food in a way that's healthy for the planet, as opposed to just covering thousands of acres in corn or soybeans.
CSA farmers are planting such a diversity of crops. It's like pollinator central, which we all, are pretty aware that there's an issue, where bees are becoming, we're thinking like, oh my gosh, if we don't have bees, they're becoming sort of an endangered species, basically. And if we don't have bees, we don't have food.
Yeah.
So there's that piece of sustainability. Also, the CSA, the farmers in the coalition are all organic. If you're growing organically, you're following the rhythms and cycles of the earth. You're using practices that are very natural. There's no chemical inputs, and you're being kind to the soil and rebuilding the soil rather than eroding it or putting chemicals into it.
Yeah.
So it's very safe food, both for us as humans and also for the planet, which goodness knows we need that right now.
It has to get on a truck and go to a port and get on a boat and go across the ocean to another port, to another truck. It's weeks before you actually get to eat that food.
And then it just adds to the carbon emissions as well,
Right.
which also harm our planet.
And it doesn't taste good in comparison.
No, I mean, they pick it early so that, or they spray it with things so that it doesn't ripen effectively, or it takes even sometimes months to ripen. Nasty stuff that goes into our food. But I think these kind of skills, it sucks. They've kind of like gone away. So like farming and cooking and sewing and clothing yourself, we don't know how to do that anymore. But we've made a society in which you can survive without being able to know how to cook.
Yeah, it's possible that society isn't going to continue like this. So
It's one of the most important things that we can do for ourselves is feed ourselves.
And knowing what's in that food.
And knowing what is in that food.
Knowing how it was grown, knowing who grew it, if you
Yeah.
can, ideally, so that way you know what you're putting in your body and can feel good about it.
honestly, this squash is probably going to be the big hit.
Wilder, you're getting a very special plating by Chef David.
And we have, and you as well. We'll do bite size here.
Can you say thank you?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for cooking for us.
Absolutely.
Thanks for helping us harvest it all.
I know. I would love to all the time.
Did you try cauliflower yet?
You're welcome.
You know how to give that a
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, cauliflower.
I can feel it. I can feel my uterus right now.
I got.
Are you all done?
I got.
All right. Can you say bye-bye?
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Also, can you please say thank you?
You too.
Yeah,
You're
thank you for
welcome.
dinner. This is delightful. This is
amazing.
really good.
In Wisconsin, so many farms that have been around for generations are shuttering their doors. And I think you guys are almost like going back to an old way of farming.
Yeah. CSA's only been around, 40 years, started in the 80s. So it is a relatively new kind of farming, but it's old in the sense that we're going back to this beautiful model of we grow food for our neighbors, we grow food for our community, we grow food for ourselves, and it is so diverse. But CSA, people expect 40 to 50 to 60 crops, so you're learning how to grow not like one thing or even 5 things. You're learning how to grow 40, 50, 100. It's crazy, and all the CSA logistics.
One of the challenges and opportunities of being a CSA farmer is that you have to be sort of a master of all trade because you're growing so many different vegetables, and also the whole marketing aspect of CSA and the delivery aspect and coordinating every drop site, and it's pretty incredible. I think CSA farmers are kind of the heroes.
CSA farmers are also educators. They teach their members about seasonality and share with them the ups and downs of sustainable farming.
Yeah, maybe you got 10 pounds of CSA or of tomatoes in your CSA last year. That's not happening this year because it's too wet or it's too this or it's too that. You're maybe going to get 2 pounds a week, and that's okay. That's how this model works, that when a crop does well, we give them a ton of it. When a crop does poorly, we might not give it at all. And so you communicate that story, and it's just such a beautiful and resilient model because of that. It's also a blast. It's wonderful. Well, it's hard, but it's so rewarding, and you get to build community, and it's incredible, but yeah, it's hard.
I would just be curious to learn how you at Raleigh's Hillside Farm, you and Kyle, are adapting to just changes with the weather, wetter springs, wetter falls.
Ideally, we'd move all our tomatoes indoors. Tomatoes are getting diseased faster and faster every year because of that moisture. And as an organic farmer, climate change is extra scary in Wisconsin because all of the moisture that's been coming to Wisconsin in the last 5-6 years just means there's more disease. There's more disease, there's the water's holding in the soil, so it's hard to plant. With the ground so wet, you can't plant into it, or you're just compacting the soil. Hoop house production is up in Wisconsin because you can limit the rain, you can control the rain. It's obviously really important. You can limit disease without having to spray things that none of us want to be spraying. But that's where CSA is so beautiful. You can talk to your members about climate change. You can tell them, I thought you were going to get all this winter squash, but you're not. You're going to get a little bit more kale or a little bit more chard or bigger onions because they really love the rain, but you're not maybe going to get any winter squash. Yeah. You have to adapt, and you have to watch the patterns, and you have to change planting calendars because of it and invest in different kinds of infrastructure. There are some solutions, but there's a lot we're all still figuring out. Yeah.
It's wonderfully filling also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Did you miss not having meat?
I didn't notice that I wasn't eating meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't matter at all. I'm truly impressed. I really am. It was beautiful. It looked beautiful. It tasted wonderful. It was textural, everything.